The following game has been rated E for everyone by the ESRB, and it has no listed restrictions. That means that the content in the game should be appropriate for anyone aged 6 and up. Furthermore, this game is also listed as early access. That means that this game is not yet completed, so what you will see in the following video may not be reflective of the final product. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier, and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Hardspace Shipbreaker. So the premise of Hardspace Shipbreaker is that you are an orbital salvage engineer taking apart derelict and questionably derelict vessels, so also that way your corporate overlords can salvage the parts to make a tidy profit. Well, sort of. While each part generally does generate a tidy profit for the shipbreaker, as the orbital salvage engineers are known, all the money made from salvaging all the various parts and chunks of ship goes to paying off a massive, crippling debt that your corporate overlords foisted upon you and was incurred to basically cover the expenses of getting you up into orbit so that way you can do their job for them. Welcome to unrestricted capitalism, where every corporation is legally required to make the maximum amount of profit possible. Yes, I know it doesn't make sense, but that's how the world spins. Anyway, for those who haven't seen the last episode, I went through the tutorial to learn about how to salvage the reactors that essentially power all the vessels that you see. It was essentially a training mission where I was given, I wouldn't say a stock mackerel, because I'm fairly certain it was randomly generated. And because I managed to time it right, I was able to take apart the entire mackerel in one shift, because things like the timer and the O2 levels and thruster fuel levels don't actually initiate until after I salvage the reactor. And since I regularly salvage the reactor last, all those things didn't start until close to the end of the salvage run. But that's now out of the way, so I can move on to bigger and better things. And those bigger and better things are the Javelin, a medium-sized, mostly cargo hauling vessel. I have seen them in the past in prior builds of the game, so I have a general understanding of what's involved, and what's involved usually requires explosives, which I don't have access to yet, so it should be fun in seeing how they modified the ship to account for that. And speaking of earlier builds, I should point out that this game is still flagged as being part of Steam's Early Access program, which means that the game itself is still in the middle of active development. And while there is enough to play and film, periodically they do come out with a usually substantial update that changes how the game is played and requires a complete restart from the very beginning. Now, that hasn't, as far as I know, that hasn't happened this time, but it has in the past, and I do feel the need, so long as the game remains in early access, to mention that it is in early access. And with that out of the way, all that's left is to state that this game is of course made by... Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin.
Hello Shipbreaker. Overnight genetic backup complete. Pattern deviation nominal. Have a good day.
Okay. Alright, so good morning, Shipbreaker. Reminder, minimum payments are due by 10 a.m. Solar Standard Time each day. So basically, the payments for to pay off the debt and, or at least the interest on the debt and various daily fees and expenses are paid at the beginning of the shift. And that includes equipment rental because, again, for-profit corporation, they're not going to give you anything. So we have various... So this is the hab, and no, this is where the character lives when not working in the salvage yard. It has quite a few areas, including the bed, which is where the character sleeps. The kitchen, which, as far as I can tell, doesn't actually do anything outside of having a couple posters you can change around. Now, the employee terminal gives you basic information about various things. There's also a window to look out of. And the equipment room is where you maintain your equipment, because that can also break. For instance, currently the modular cutter is at 92%. The grapple's at 85%, thrusters are at 94%, spectrum's at 99%, and demo chargers at still 100 because I don't have access to them until, well, salvage rank 11. And I'm only at 5, so it's going to be a while. So, since I know Javelin can take a while, and I don't want this video to run too long, let's head off to the ship catalog where I can select a ship to salvage. So, if I look at the highest grade vessels, which I currently have access to, I have one Javelin, a mackerel station hopper, another mackerel xenolab, well, another mackerel, but this one's a xenolab, and another Javelin. And since I had planned on salvaging a Javelin, I should go with either the Thunderscale or the Rising Ares. And if you look at total value, the Rising Ares is 5.6 million and change, whereas the Thunderscale is also 5.6 million and change, but a little bit extra in change. So we're going to go with the Thunderscale.
Morning there, Cutter.
Morning, Rook. Oh, forgot to give you a pretty hot tip. You know all those supplies you can buy at the kiosk? You know, O2, patch kits, fuel, that kind of thing? You can actually scrounge a lot of that stuff for free from the ships.
Come on, Lou. You know that's against regs.
It's not a big deal.
It's also not safe. Nor sanitary.
Come on, what?
You know how long that stuff's been floating around in all that grime and dust?
There's space-grade sealed weaver.
Probably well past their expiry date.
Okay, well, it's not like corporate around here cares too much about our well-being, does it?
Look, Lou, I need you to try to follow the rules now. You hear?
Yeah, sure thing, boss. Catch you later, Rook. Lou out.
Cutter, I encourage you not to huff any old oxygen can you find. But if you do, please just monitor your vitals after, and for God's sakes, don't eat anything you find. All right, have a productive shift. Holler if you need me. Weaver out.
Alright, so that's just a brief storyline bit about the various things you can find in these vessels. I've kind of known about them for a while and have been, well, taking this stuff as needed. I mean, that's where the pink bunny came from, that's sitting on top of my work computer. So, as I was listening to Weaver and Lou, I didn't get a chance to say that this is a Javelin, and one thing I was worried about with the Javelin is that a lot of these cut points are flagged as grade 2 cut points, which in the past, the laser cutter couldn't cut through. And it can now, which, and originally you had to use explosives, the demo charges, which I don't get until salvage level 11 now, to actually cut them. But now it seems like the laser cutter can just simply cut through them. I'm assuming it takes a little bit longer than normal, or at least for the grade 1s. So there's always that benefit. But as normal, with any vessel, first thing I do is probably empty it out of O2, but now I haven't actually gotten to the tier where the ranking grade where atmosphere is going to be an issue. And yes, I'm still on the fence about why they consider atmospheric environments to be of a worse hazard than... Sorry, I'm just trying to focus on this thing. Worse hazard than atmospheric environments. What are you still caught on? Oh. Alright, so this should be able to be moved. Alright, so the ion ring is, I think, how the Javelin moves. It's essentially their nacelles. And it's a big, massive thing that has multiple cut points to cut through and things to worry about. Usually I just basically cut off the central pieces and just send the entire chunk down. But this does go in the barge, right?
Salvage secured.
Okay.
Credits deposited.
Well, the laser cutter is able to chop through an entire grade 2 cut point, depth-wise, as if it was just a standard chunk of metal. Although, in hindsight, I probably should have taken care of the lower ion ring first, just simply because the upper portions, it seems like I gotta get them around the lower ring before getting them into the barge, or the net as I like to call it. So yes, I have my own names for the various repositories, and there's essentially 4 places where all the salvage goes, as I've said every episode. The barge or the net is... I'm already low on O2 already. Okay then.
Welcome to Vintatron 9000. Thank you for your...
Oxygen level stabilizing.
I miss having a larger O2 tank, but every time I gotta get O2, I keep saying that, so... Anyway, as I was saying, ion ring. The locations to toss things. The barge, or the net as I like to call it, is where all the unique pieces go, so things like the ion ring, thrusters, engines, the reactor, various chairs, computers. Essentially, the stuff found inside the vessels goes to the net, as I like to call it. Because originally it was net-like and it just caught everything. And then the big gaping holes to the side of the salvage bay are your processor and furnace. The blue ones are the processor, the red ones are the furnace. It says, I guess it's technically two and not just one. And the processor is where you toss in the nanocarbon, the titanium, essentially the hull of the vessel. And then the furnace is where you toss in the garbage, the trash, the broken chunks, as well as the aluminum found in the vessel, which can be chunks of hull. It's usually just the internal frame, though. So, if the nanocarbon is the skin of the vessel, the aluminum would usually be considered as bones. And yes, I'm well aware that I generally anthropomorphize large chunks of this. So I'll generally refer to the front of the vessel as its head, and all that fun stuff.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage secured. Credit deposited.
Alright, and the iron ring is now inside the net. So as far as I know, that's every interesting chunk outside the Javelin. So now I gotta go in and start cutting it apart from the inside out. And since I don't have to worry about atmosphere, I don't have to worry about the airlocks other than just salvaging them correctly. Now, unlike, say, the mackerel or its larger cousin, the gecko, the Javelin is essentially split into three different areas. The first area is the front, and then the second area is the middle, and then the third is the back. But unlike the mackerel and the gecko, the Javelin, its three parts are essentially separate. So the back area can't actually be accessed from the front without actually going around. Oh look, new posters, I think. I'm just gonna collect this one. And this one. Just so that way I can keep them from
Got about 5 minutes left in this shift, Cutter. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Weaver out.
Don't know if I had the one with the woman's face on it, but the schematic I think is no. And another bunny character D. I only get one pink bunny, but apparently there's 3 of them that I've seen now. This is also a new poster, and this is also the cockpit. Alright, so first thing I gotta do is get access to the outer hull, which is done through here. So I basically gotta cut through all these cut points, being mindful of where the laser is going to hit.
Oxygen reserves are low. Reminder, asphyxiation can lead to missed salvage quotas.
I really hate not having a large O2 tank.
Welcome to Vendor 9000.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Now with the larger O2 tanks, yes, I still had to stop and get O2, but I only had to do it once a 15-minute salvage shift. Nowadays it's like 2, or, well, I guess 2, because I only have 3 minutes left. It should be enough time to swing this chunk of nanocarbon into the blue maw, which is my name for the processor, and the furnace is the red maw. Forgot to say that earlier, I think.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
You know what? So I don't think it matters, but I forgot to check to see if I have to flush the fuel. Usually in the past, the things like atmospheric regulators and power distributors and gas tanks and whatnot can only be used and flushed during your very first shift. But that doesn't look to be the case because I'm not seeing any sort of fuel control valve. Although the reactor is around here somewhere. Yep, there it is. Right next to a cut point. So don't need to worry about that. I'll get to this side, hopefully eventually. Alright, now the laser cutter can't cut through nanocarbon, so I should be fine just using the split saw on these guys.
1 minute left, Cutter. Time to start wrapping things up. Weaver out.
Don't know about this chunk. But I should probably just spend the rest of my shift just cutting apart the nose, so that way next shift all I have to do is just simply toss the various chunks in the various maws. Alright, and shift is now over. Alright, so I lost 3 kilograms of aluminum structure. But I made 845,000, which means that I've exceeded the daily fees, which means I made profit. Which means debt goes down, so that's always cool. Yeah, the ion ring was a majority of that. I earned 1,015 mastery points, which goes to the next ranking.
Good morning, Cutter 9346-52. Lynx would like to share the following inspirational message. The greatest reward in life is the chance to work hard at work worth doing.
There is wisdom in that, actually. Once I actually agree with what they say. Alright, so I have a new HAB poster available. So the various posters that you see on the various walls, I can swap those out for these now. And this is the daily fees that I'm talking about. So they assess a 0.01% interest rate on the loan, on the debt, I should say, which is surprisingly lenient given the fact it's a for-profit corporation. But I guess they want to give the appearance that you can eventually pay it off. Plus, it's 1.24 billion credits, so they still make quite a bit of interest. And then there's also bay leasing, salvage transport, various tool rentals, rental of the hab, and utilities of said hab, and all that stuff. So we just wake up and continue. Now I can repair my equipment, but I generally like waiting until it gets to around like below 75 or 50% before I start doing that. So the grapple is at 78% now, which means it'll probably start malfunctioning if I don't repair it. But for now, it should be fine. I'll probably need to repair it next shift. So let's just continue on with the Javelin. I wonder if I start tossing things in before the maws power up, are they still going to count? Alright, so I believe the this chunk just goes straight to the processor, like most hull areas.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
So that's still connected somehow. Somewhere. Oh, right there. Okay. Now, I do like that these things are probably multi-ton, but, objects, but because you're working in a zero-G environment, once cut free of the vessel, I can basically move them with the character's head. It's not smart, especially when you get close to the processor, or the maw, or the furnace. Those things will pull you in if you get too close.
Valuable objects processed. Credits awarded.
Alright. We should have made certain that this was free of everything before I started tossing it somewhere. Of course, I also thought that this wouldn't just be one large chunk. You know what, I might want to actually tether this. Because A, it's a large chunk, and B, it looks like it was actually going to fly past the processor. Alright, this is still connected somehow.
Credits deposited.
Probably through here. Alright, so is this area now done? Now free? No. What are you still connected to? Alright, worry about that once all the cut points are gone. Probably should not be flying through rapidly melting metal. I mean, as far as I know, it doesn't cause the actual character damage. But still, it's probably not a good idea. Just, you know, on principle. Alright, I'm just focusing on the cut points and not really paying much attention to anything else, so for all I know, this ship is already half in various pieces, and I'm still just cutting away. Like, for instance,
carbon dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
I'm currently running low on O2, so back to the hab.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
I mean, I didn't mean to get the more Nova fuel, but I'll take it, even though, you know, it's basically expense to me. Stop. Alright, so is this thing free, actually? No. I mean, it looks like it's free. It's kind of, like, off-kilter. But it's not all the...
Cutter, your equipment durability is dropping. Keep an eye on it. You don't want to be dangling in the wind with busted tools. When you see it happening, head on back to the hab and use a repair kit to fix them up.
And so that's what I was talking about, how the equipment can wear out. Alright, so what's still connected here that I'm missing? I mean, ideally, I could just simply use the, the scanner and just see what I still need to cut. But this part is now free. Now let's just cut this tether because the cockpit's still technically connected, and I don't want to throw the entire cockpit down the processor. There, now you're free. Just connect you to a cattle trap real quick.
valuable object. Credits awarded.
Just so I can get all these like computers out first. One thing I don't like about the Javelin's cockpit is it's essentially hold large quantity of very small chunks. So like for instance, the roofing section can be removed. You know, the front of the cockpit can be removed. All this fun stuff can be removed. And you know, once you hit all the cut points, it just basically breaks all into various parts. Alright, so this guy goes down here. I said this guy goes down there.
Cutter, you got 5 minutes left in this shift. Knock out that work order before they turn the lights out on you. We were out.
Alright, so it's doing this thing again.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Guess I'm in the shadow of something? At least that's what it's supposed to represent. But I can't actually do anything until, you know, because I can't see, and in fact even the HUD's gone.
Warning. Your oxygen reserves are dropping below statistically profitable levels.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000. Thank you for your...
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Alright, so at the very least that allowed me to see where the door is. Because I really can't get anything done while, you know, I can't see anything. And because I was forced to leave the shift early, I did not make enough to cover the daily costs.
Good morning, Shipbreaker. Lynx would like to share the following message. The only Ps permitted in the salvage yard are profit, processor, and potassium trifluoromethane sulfonate.
Yeah, well, if they work better on their systems, maybe I wouldn't have to leave early. Back it up. There we go. Alright, so let's just continue from right where we left off. Hopefully.
Hey, Rook. Just thought I'd check in with you. You got family back on Earth? My old man's back on the Earth platforms. It was rough growing up there. Hard to even get by. Folks grasping at whatever work they can just to survive. Like my mom. She had to leave to work off station when I was 4. I hardly know her. She's basically remarried now. My dad's a miner. He always hoped he'd be prospecting himself one day, but mining's driven the life out of him. It was hard, just the two of us, not gonna lie. People shouldn't have to make choices like that. You know, break their families apart just to survive. Anyways, I'll make my way, and maybe one day I can do what my old man wasn't able to. One day. Lou out. Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Alright, is there anything else I need to worry about in here? There are a couple objects, actually. Mostly a door control and what looks like a light. And I was going to say there's like a whole bunch of trash under the cockpit. But, accidentally hit it with the force push and, sent everything flying, so moot point. Alright. This all goes to the processor anyway, so... what else was here that's considered a system? Ah, this light.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Alright, so that seems to be it, so let's just get the rest of the cockpit into the blue maw. And then this airlock goes down here. It'll get there eventually.
Salvage secured.
This thing goes here. That goes there.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Chunks of hull go there.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Hopefully that goes where it needs to go. Yeah, it looks like it. So if not, that should whack it and hopefully get it in the right direction.
Processing valuable object. Credits awarded.
And it did, arguably. That's what I mean. The Javelin basically, you cut the Javelin apart and it essentially just falls to pieces. So this trunk is still connected somewhere. Not that I can see. I mean, it looks like all the remaining cut points are on the middle section. Let's just pop off this light. And this power cell.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Just when there was a second power cell as well. Yep, there it is.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Warning, oxygen reserves are low.
Well, plus that I hit the first tier of salvage, so that's always fun.
Welcome to Visitron 9000.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Alright, so let's see if I can just simply send this thing off to... Alright, so that frame just is solid titanium, so that just goes to the processor anyway. And then this is free, so this goes over here.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited. Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
And apparently we hit the next level of ranking, so I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen then. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to keep salvaging this Javelin. Alright, so looks like that tether's having issues. In fact, it looks like it's actually just yanking the entire ship, because this chunk of hull caught on the frame. And it shifted literally the entire vessel. So let's connect this to a cattle trop.
Warning, no tethers remaining.
Just to get it free. Yank off this light. Cut the tether because I don't need it right now.
Credits transferred.
Because I'm out of tethers, I gotta go back and grab more. So I bonked myself on the hab.
Welcome to Vindatron 9000.
There we go, tethers.
Tethers restored.
And just tether this to there. Huh. Part of the cockpit came off and I didn't realize it was off, so let's just swing this around and everything seems to be flagged for the furnace, so that's where it's going to go.
Material deposited.
So it looks like it's on its way to the processor.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
The ladder goes to the barge.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Door console goes to the barge.
Cutter, there's 5 minutes remaining in this shift. Get in while the getting's good.
Yes, Weaver, working on it.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Alright, smack that that console a bit too much, so it ended up, it broke. So it goes to the furnace because it's now trash.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Alright, and L2 is once again low.
Welcome to Vindatron 9000.
Oxygen level stabilizing.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
I could have sworn there was a computer in here, but that might have actually been the back chunk. Anyway, this table goes to the furnace, so why I'm moving it around I have no idea, because it's in an area that goes to the furnace. As do these chairs, so I can have the chairs, I drag the chairs around and through and up and around and all that fun stuff. Or, well, through the Javelin, or I can just cut a hole in the floor. Send this whole panel chunk to the furnace where it's supposed to go, and then just yank everything out this way. So I smacked the chair on the ship, but as far as I know, chairs are immortal, so don't need to worry about damaging them. Lights, on the other hand.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Alright, so is that everything? I mean, there's various doors, and there's still even a power cell here, which would explain why those lights are still powered.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
An air filter. Alright, so something tells me I'm gonna have to cut that off.
Dig deep and let's finish strong.
I'm guessing on the cut here lines. Alright, so now are you free? Storage bin. Ah. I see what I did wrong. I think that's a cut point there. Nope, that's just junk. Alright, so I made over 1.6 million this time, so managed to cover the expenses for both this shift and last shift, which had to be ended abruptly on account of graphical issues.
New certification level has been achieved. License level increased.
And I am now a junior apprentice, so I now hit rank 6. Let's just end the shift.
Hello Shipbreaker 9346-52. Lynx would like to share the following inspirational message. Some people dream of great salvage, while other people get up every morning and make it happen.
Right. Right, and so since I'm now rank level 6, I can now deal with hazard level 5 problems, which is pressurization, so basically atmosphere. Congratulations, reached one of the major milestones in Shipbreaker career progression, gaining access to the #1 cause of death in Shipbreaker profession, pressurization. Some ships you encounter may or may not be pressurized or contain pressurized pockets. Reaching these spaces incorrectly can cause an explosive decompression. We've got to read what's there, which can cause damage to valuable salvage and Lynx equipment. Notice it does not say anything about you. Depressurized property. Lynx advises the use of standardized atmosphere regulators located throughout the ship. Lynx, and then footnotes. Link strictly prohibits shipbreakers intentionally using explosive decompression, so-called controlled decompressions, to enact rapid salvage. Reminder, the activity while in the salvage bay is monitored. And second footnote, note that some ships may come with damaged atmospheric regulators, which don't allow for an authorized and safe decompression procedure. And then the breakdown of fees.
Hey, Cutter, you're gonna start getting pressurized ships now. Lou and I will show you the ropes when you're ready.
Alright, so the handheld grapple is damaged, so let's spend one repair kit to actually fix it. I don't get an increased capacity in tier 8. That's annoying. Everything looks relatively okay. Also, the increase in rank means more upgrades that I can gain access to. Alright, so it looks like that there's no actual training. Oh, actually, no, there is training, but I can continue the salvage. So let's actually continue that. Because I want to finish taking apart this Javelin, because there's still a whole lot of goodies still available. And the air filter is now free. So that goes down there. And the chunk I cut off from the air filter goes to the furnace.
Salvage deposit accepted.
There's also the storage bins, which for some reason are stuck. I'm guessing the fabric that's attached to them has something to do with that. Like how it's supposed to be fabric, but it's like a solid mass. It goes to the furnace anyway, so away with you. Alright, so
Credits deposited.
would say these can come out, but they're essentially the width of the vessel, so they keep clipping on the thing out on the other thing that I had cut. Let's just see if I can just orient these more vertically and then take them out this way.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Alright, so this one wants to be a nudge. And not actually rotate like the other one did. Okay, so fine. Just cut off the wall. Or not. Alright, why are you still stuck? Well, it didn't cut all the way through, so interesting. Anyway, I got it rotated now, so out you go. Ow.
Helmet damage detected. Always use Link's branded repair kits to avoid
Salvage
invalid
secured.
warranty.
Credits deposited.
Alright, so I managed to whack myself with the thing. Running low on
Warning.
fuel anyway.
Fuel levels are low. Fuel supplies are available for purchase at the Master Jet.
As I almost fling myself past the hab.
Welcome to Vendatron 9000.
Let's just top off on O2 while I'm here. And fix up the suit.
Have a nice day.
Alright, so that should be everything out the front area. I have absolutely no idea how to disconnect it from the back. Well, from the rest of it. Other than, you know, the blindingly obvious way of just cutting. I think I just cut a light in half. Are we free in this corner? Does not look like it. Alright, well I can see the net, so I'm guessing this is free now. Of course, that would be a bad assumption. So what are you still connected to? Now I really got to be careful because there are gas tanks on the other side of this wall, and if I cut through them too much, I'm going to hit the gas tanks. And since I'm right next to the gas tanks, I'm probably going to get blown up with the gas tanks. Alright, so now are you free? No. I mean, you look free. Just tether this to cattle trop and see what happens. Alright, so it is free. It's just so massive it can't be moved with the grapple. So let's just send that off to the Red Maw. And figure out how exactly I'm going to get the gas tanks off. Clearly, by hitting all the cut points. I mean, if I didn't much care for the gas tanks, I could also just, you know, hit the gas tanks and let nature take its course. Which, given the fact I'm running low on time for this video, would probably be a good idea. Any other cut points I need to worry about? Does not look like it, but then again I'm looking at objects and not structure. And the answer is quite a bit. There are quite a few cut points hidden amongst the gas tanks that I gotta worry about. If this frame's aluminum, why can't I just cut the frame? It probably will, truth be told. Alright, have you gone? You haven't even gone to the Red Maw yet. Get in the maw. Alright, so the outer frame is titanium. The inner frame is aluminum. And I think I got all of the cut points cleared?
Deposited.
Oh, missed a door. Oh well. But the problem is, the back chunk of wall of is in the way. I'm just gonna melt this chunk of aluminum. It's safer than using the split saw. I forgot these cut points too.
Your oxygen
And I'm low on
levels are
O2.
low. Note that excess carbon dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
Welcome to Visitron 9000.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Alright, Cutter, you got 5 minutes left of this shift before they turn the lights out on you. Pitter patter. We're out.
Just when I hit all the cut points. But apparently I did not. There were still 2 left. Okay, that was a weird sounding sound. So now is this chunk free? The answer is yes. Yes it is, near as I can tell. Just tether that to the red maw,
Caution. Tether supplies running low.
because that's aluminum.
Material deposited.
And now I saw the gas tank shift. So I'm guessing it can come out now. Come on. You know you want to. And go down there.
Salvage secured.
Alright, so the fuel tanks are in. Means I don't have to worry about exploding death from there. I'm guessing the titanium frame is still attached to this thing. Maybe. Now let's just tether it to the blue maw and see what happens. Nope, it's actually free. Okay then. Whereas the inner aluminum frame is all like pieces. So, you know, just fire that off into the red maw.
Deposit accepted. Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Alright, and there goes the middle section for the most part, and apparently a chunk of aluminum got sent somewhere it didn't need to go, or shouldn't have gone. Just toss that there. Alright, this broke, but it still says barge. As I get electrocuted.
Wrap it up. You got about a minute left.
And we hit salvage goal 2. So, goody. Alright, now I know I have this poster from earlier, but you know, let's just stack it for grab it for my own collection. Same with this one. And this one. Although that one I think is new. I think that's technical schematics for the Gecko. Just fly through all this trash and junk. And start cutting apart the back area. As the cutter breaks. And the shift ends. So I made 636,000 and change. So, well, works for me. I'll get even more mastery points.
Cutter 9346-52. Your sleep period is now over. Have a great day.
I guess, I don't want to list the new posters, so all those posters I got, only one was new, but because I'm running low on time, I'm not going to stop and look. So let's continue salvage again, because I really want this Javelin to go away. And I even forgot to...
Hey, Rook. You ever think about starting your own business out there?
No.
You know, be your own boss? I swear, one day I'll get a decent belt runner and make my own money. Maybe bring my old man along to help sniff out the good rocks. My dream is to tinker with ship designs. Maybe build some machinery to help with heavy-duty mining, you know, make it safer. If we ever both get out of here, I'd hire you in a heartbeat. If you don't end up coming with me, I hope you get to make your own way out there someday. Definitely ping me if you do. Blue out. Processing valuable objects.
I mean, Lou seems like a nice lady. No corporation's gonna crush her dreams like a, ant, but... No, it's nice to have plans. Right, and that cuts off the airlock, sort of. That really cuts off the airlock.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Keep forgetting, the nanocarbon can't be cut with a cutter, so well, split cell's perfectly fine to be used here. As long as, you know, I don't hit the reactor or anything else of semi-import. So I have absolutely no idea what this thing is. No, this is probably what the antenna that I originally cut off at the very beginning were attached to. So.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
That was that access point. And that's the cutter overheating because I'm using it for too much. And then this panel's now free. Alright, that should clear the storm break.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Cut off the thruster cap. Can I just grab the thruster? Do I still have to manually decouple it? No, I guess not. Just waiting for the thruster to fully clear. Before I do that, tether the thruster down to the net.
Salvage secured.
Oh, it's a class 2 thruster too. Did not realize that. No, it's a class 1 reactor. I mean, that's the reactor right there. Didn't realize it was a class 2 thruster. Alright, other than the cut point directly below
Your
the...
oxygen reserves are dropping below statistically profitable levels.
Well, you know, if I accidentally clip the reactor and it explodes, I was going to die anyway, so... Let's get more O2.
Welcome to Venditron 9000.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Now, I know I still have 2 spare tethers, but let's top up anyway.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
And that whole panel's still attached. I'm not really seeing any more cut points, truth be told. Unless that's like considered part of the lower hull.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
And the thrusters are damaged, which means they're now at 75% integrity. As the grappler starts, it keeps complaining. And that should go in, hopefully.
Processing valuable object.
so what part of this is still connected to something? Oh, a light. Just toss that in there.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
Whack this light against the frame and toss that in there.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
That should be good there.
Object accepted for processing. Credits deposited.
Alright, so why isn't this shining blue like every other piece? Like, say, this piece. This is the piece that has the reactor, isn't it? No, it's the piece underneath the area, the piece that has the reactor. Alright, so you go to the blue maw. And you actually are free, so you get tethered there. You just clip everything.
Alright, Cutter, you got 5 minutes left of this shift before they turn the lights out on you. Hit or die. We'd wrap.
Alright, so let's just cut a hole in the wall.
Processing valuable object. Credits
If I
awarded.
can. Apparently I can't. So I'm guessing something's still attached on this side. Yep, the computer. Just yank this off. And the table. And that frees up this hull. This chunk of hull or wall. Let's send this to the red maw, and the reason why I cut a hole in the wall is so that we can just grab this stuff.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited. Processing valuable object. Credits awarded. Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Alright, at O2 is low again. Of course, I have absolutely no idea if there's going to be enough. If I keep salvaging for the next 3 minutes, I have absolutely no idea if there's going to be enough left for another shift. I mean, it's the main reason why I haven't salvaged the reactor yet. Let's see if O2 automatically refills at the end of the shift. Let's just end the shift and save everything for next time. And it made over 1 million, so definitely expenses are covered. Twice, almost.
Hello Shipbreaker 9346-52.
Yeah.
Lynx would like to share the following inspirational message. Make the most of your shift by fanning the tiny sparks of effort into flames of profitability.
Alright, so let's actually repair the cutter and the thrusters. And let's just continue salvaging. Even though there really isn't much left. On the plus side, I do in fact get maximum amount of O2. Which, you know, I should have checked before heading towards the Javelin, but oh well. off this. I mean, the fabric goes to the furnace anyway, so just yank this out of the way just to get the storage bin. And this slightly dinged light, which ricocheted off of something and is broken. So, chunk of aluminum panel. Don't know where that came from, but okay. Goes there.
Deposit accepted.
No, I actually did not want to cut through the glass, just because, but if these storage bins are going to be a problem, and the fact that they just don't want to reorient so that we can get them out of the hole that I cut, apparently I broke a light. Send that glass out this way.
Material deposited.
Pull the salvage storage bins out through here.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
I know it's going to go into the furnace anyway, but let's get this table and the fabric out because there's now a hole on holes on multiple sides, and you know they're free floating anyway. So. Said out, and in you go.
Raw material processed. Credits deposited.
Alright, so what's left are these computers. The big computer, the poster behind the big computer. Grab a couple door controls I'm not seeing. The frame and the reactor.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred. Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
Alright, so the table's going to the furnace anyway. Battery pack has to go to the barge. Just grab this poster. Just make it a point just to grab every poster.
Ship salvaged in full. Credits applied to cutter account.
And we managed to salvage, get to ship tier, salvage tier 3 with that alone. And I didn't even need to salvage the reactor just yet. I mean, I'm still going to. Don't get me wrong. Alright, so is there anything left? On the table, a couple of doors. So, nothing I really need to worry about. Get to the red maw. And I'm running low on O2.
Reserves are low. Note that excess carbon dioxide can cause damage to Link's equipment.
Also running low on fuel.
Warning. Fuel levels are low.
Deposit accepted.
Welcome to Vintage 9000. Thank
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Alright, so I lost a light, a couple of doors, but I've salvaged far more in terms of aluminum and just standard framing. I'd like to point out that the red line of, missed, salvage, and broken and damaged stuff is far shorter than normal when I'm salvaging a mackerel. Even if the Javelin takes forever and a day. Alright, so all that's left is the reactor and these last chunks of outer hull.
Caution. Tether supplies are low.
So let's just send that out to get it out of the way. And then deal with the reactor by just simply doing this and backing up. Right, and reactors array, so wood point, and you're getting in there eventually. Apparently there's still cut points here. Right, anything else I need to worry about? Probably not.
Credits awarded.
Just use the last of my tethers. On the last of the hull chunks.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Alright, so that'll get in there eventually. It's now in. And I get a new sticker. But for the most part, pretty much the yellow has met the red, as far as I'm concerned, and the Thunderscale is now gone. At the very least, all the important and material chunks are. So on that note, let's just head back. I can always pick up more tethers next time. So I'm down to one tether, and I don't know if I should pick up more first or not. Alright, so here we go. So in total, I salvaged 98.1% of the vessel, destroyed 1.4% of the vessel, and left 0.5% behind. So wherever this 25,615 credits worth of salvage is, I have no idea, but it's not worth hunting down, and definitely not worth spending another shift on. So I made yet another 1 million credits and gained another 1,243 MP. Also, throughout the whole of the salvage, 55, 165, probably about 500 and change links tokens. Yeah, 400 and, I want to say 45 links tokens. For more upgrades. Always fun. And one spare repair kit.
Hello Shipbreaker. Please enjoy this inspirational message. The last 10% of a job takes as much energy as the first 90%, so think of what it takes to hit 110%, and aim for that.
Probably about 3 times the amount of effort. Alright, so daily fees are this, salvage income was this, so I made the daily fees, so debt goes down. Slowly and surely. Achieve a perfect salvage over 98%. So that's where that sticker came from. Okay, then I just barely made it. Alright, so, and that's basically everything. Check the employee terminal. Get 2 messages. So then this one talks about tool durability. Relink Salvage provides one of the safest and most efficient tools. However, even the best tools break down with regular use. Damaged tools can exhibit several severe problems. They may overheat, misfire, provide inaccurate readings. In order to show the current durability of your tools and alert you when their condition drops. Many tools can be upgraded to reduce the rate at which they break down. Repair your tools. Use your HABS equipment interface between shifts. Repair kits must be purchased by the Shipwrecker. Can be obtained from a Link's kiosk for a nominal fee. Addendum 10.2.2293, I'm guessing that's the date. Links acknowledges that equipment repair kits can be found in the course of salvaging. Please note that use of these unofficial kits is not sanctioned. Links is not legally liable for providing the most efficient nor safest tools. That's a footnote. And then there's also Sender Undisclosed Issue 14, Cancel the Debt. I feel like I've read these before, but I'm guessing this is from the so-called union. So one of the most prevalent issues regarding workers' rights among shipbreakers is the fight to cancel the debt. It's the belief that this union has that no shipbreaker deserves to be in debt to the company for the privilege of doing the hard work we do. Shipbreakers are a key part of the very foundation supporting the current age of stellar exploration and expansion, which the company profits heavily from. Our work removes the masses of outdated ships that otherwise clog civilization, transforms them into valuable resources to be used for construction and manufacturing. It's time that we be recognized as invaluable components of the active progress of our species that we are. We deserve the rights, recognitions, dignity, and respect that our profession demands. That includes not trapping us in an inescapable cycle of debt. We deserve to hold the power and value of our own hard work, use it towards building our own better futures. Cancel the debt, respect workers' rights, hope is action, solidarity is strength, salvage workers unite. Not going to happen. Because, Links, if they can no longer have us in debt, then they will sign us up. Well, then they'll change the contract requiring that we work for X number of ridiculously long amount of time, probably centuries. And that's all the messages that I have. Nice if I just click on the bunny and it squeaks. But it can't, so moot point. There's the bed again, the kitchen, employee terminal. Alright, trying to get it so that way. Just turn around, get to this screen again. So, managed to salvage Javelin. It took longer than I would have liked, but not as long as I would have guessed. And I was actually worried I wouldn't be able to fit it all in one episode. Probably still can't, but that's an issue for editing time. And I achieved the next salvage rank, so now I get to deal with the one thing that's more hazardous than a nuclear reactor, an oxygenated environment. But that training will have to wait until next time, because I'm going to call it here. Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.